got thunderstruck last night during a 152-79 loss to the Grizzlies. Even without John Morant, 9 Memphis players scored in double figures, and the 73-point margin of victory was the largest in NBA history. Shannon, how embarrassed should the Thunder be?
Skip, they should be very, very, very highly embarrassed by this. Skip, I don't care about no back-to-back. I don't care if they play 5 games and they play Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night.
No Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
I don't care if they didn't have Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden. Skip, you can't get beat by 73. They are professionals. This ain't the Washington Generals against the Globetrotters.
No.
This is another professional team, and you get beat by 73?
So how ashamed should your Lakers be that they have lost to that Oklahoma City team twice?
I said that. I made that.
They lost by 8 and they lost by 3. And at home, when they came back to win by 8, they had to win the second half 67-42 to come from 26 points down. That's that same team that just lost by 73 points.
I guarantee you, won't nobody remember that team beat the Lakers. Everybody's going to remember you let somebody hang 152 in regulation. You get beat by, Skip, 73 points now. Come on, Skip. We've seen teams get beat by 30, get beat by 40. 73?
The Memphis bench scored 93 points. You ever heard of that?
No.
Because it's impossibly great.
Because I saw it at halftime, 72-36. I'm like, ain't no way they're going to score another 70 in the second half. Nah, they scored 80 in the second half.
Yeah, and they shot a franchise greatest ever 62.5%, while Oklahoma City shot 33%. Well, then that's going to happen.
Well, Skip, that's a layup line.
Yeah.
I mean, you shoot 62% in an NBA game, Skip, that's a layup line.
There was no pride, but they're just resting on their laurels. They beat the Lakers.
Whatever, ain't no beat no Lakers.
Yep.
That's it for us. Thank you for spending your morning with us. Enjoy a packed weekend of football. Don't go early to return for tonight's matchup against the Clippers. After initially being placed into a 10-day quarantine, the league released a statement saying additional testing confirmed that he is not a positive case. So, Shannon, what do you make of the NBA's explanation of this?
Well, it just explains LeBron's tweet, LeBron's IG post, where it says something is fishy because they sent him on a private jet back from Sacramento on Monday. He tests negative Monday twice. He tests negative Tuesday twice. He tests negative Wednesday twice. He tests negative Thursday twice. He's like, hold on, bro. How can I be positive and I keep showing negative tests? And that's what he says, something fishy going on here, Skip. Something's not adding up. He's like, okay, I'm keep testing negative and you guys keep telling me I need to be in protocol, I need to be out for 10 days. How does that make sense? So that's why you saw the level of frustration, because Skip, I'm like, well, why would he quit? I mean, LeBron would really think. I get fans. Anytime, Skip, a bad call, yep, they got the Cowboys on this one, or they took the over on that one, or they took the under on this one. But I've never seen a player, especially a player of LeBron's caliber, like, bro, you really think the NBA got it in for you because of the Isaiah Stewart situation, because you were so vocal and your disapproval of how they handled your situation? Bro, LeBron believes that? So now it makes perfect sense to me. He's back in L.A. He's testing negative. Obviously, the NBA are getting these tests. He's like, well, bro, what's going on? How am I keep testing negative and you keep telling me I still got to be out for 10 days? Something's not adding up here. And so finally, after the last final test that he took, and it was negative, and it says, okay, but you know, if anybody could do this, I told you. Anybody could be Dr. White, he'd go. Beat COVID in 2 days. That what Go James did.
No, he did not.
He beat it.
That is a lie.
Beat it.
It's a lie because the NBA in their statement said he did not test positive, so he beat nothing.
Well, then he beat nothing. Why you put him in protocol then? If he tested positive for nothing, why you put him there?
I don't know. Okay, let's preface what I'm about to say with the fact that, as you well know, when it comes to any form of medical testing, it's never 100% reliable.
No.
We're just not there. We're still trying to figure it out.
We never gonna get there.
We're never going to get there. How many tests, they can come back. You can have false positives. It's testing for PEDs. It's not an exact science.
Correct.
You got to be careful with it. You need numerous tests to make sure.
Correct.
That's why they run B samples and C samples.
To make sure.
Okay, I'm just going to read again from the ESPN story about this, and this came from the league. The league was very transparent and issued a 5-paragraph statement about how this all went down.
Right.
Okay, so it says, The sample that produced the initial positive test was rerun twice. This is on the 29th of November. Rerun twice and returned one negative and one positive result on two different types of tests.
Yes.
As a result, James underwent additional testing on November 30th, the next day, with one test returning a negative result and the second test resulting in a clinically inconclusive result. Well, since then, he's tested 8 times, according to this story.
Right. All
of them negative.
Right.
That's why so quickly the NBA said, we sign off.
Yes.
You can play.
Yes.
You can go.
Yes.
Go play
Yes.
the Clippers tonight.
Yes.
At Staples.
Yes.
What just happened? Because they have concluded off what I just read you that he did not, in fact, test positive.
Right. It was a false positive.
Well, was it a false positive? From what I just read you, it's murky at best. It feels like, it comes across like the testing looks foolish to me. It looks amateurish to me. So when LeBron was told of all this craziness,
Right.
he then tweets, something is real, emojis, fishy, 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 fishy,
Right.
5 fishy emojis going on. Something is real fishy going on.
Right.
Well, he should have just tweeted, I did not test positive.
Right.
Because that's the bottom line
Right.
to this. That's what they announced.
Right.
You did not
Right.
test positive. He should have said, I did not test positive, instead of sort of dropping a suspicion of a conspiracy theory against him, because now there's no, unless the league is trying to backtrack and try to spin control it a little bit to look like it wasn't trying to take it out on LeBron for the way he fired back at them for getting suspended.
Right. Skip, you and I was making a joke, and I should not have made a joke of a situation that LeBron beat COVID in 2 days. I'm glad to hear it was a false positive, because he did have one positive test in those negative tests, because they said he had a sample, it was negative, they retested it, it was positive, and it seems like he had 2 positive and one, because the other story that they wrote, Skip, he had 1 negative and 2 positives, and therefore they went with the 2 positive.
This is making my head hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now he comes back and he tests and he retests and he retests and he tests again and he tests again. He's like, hold on, something fishy. So how if I'm positive, I'm getting all these negative tests right now?
And the incredible irony is, this is the face of the league,
Right.
man. This is your most popular player.
Right.
Your most valuable gate attraction.
Yes.
Is LeBron Ramon James.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you just put him through this ringer that you put him
Right.
through? What is this about?
Right.
You did cost him a game, and it was your fault, or the testing.
But they won.
fault.
Fortunate they were able to win that ball game.
They won the game. And
Right.
weirdly, they had their greatest surge of the season.
They did.
From sort of mid-third quarter on, they won 66 to 25. 66 to 25 without the King at the Kings.
Right.
I can't even explain that. So it was one weird night followed by another.
Right.
So they had to send him home. They won. And now, I guess all's well that ends well, because he's 100% healthy and he's back for the Clippers.
Yes.
And they are favored by a grand total of 1.5 at Staples. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They're 12-11, and the Clippers are 11-11.
Yeah.
So is this possible they should play this game in the basement? Because do they not both belong in the basement of Staples?
Both of these teams have been very disappointed.
Yeah.
And I think we can understand why the Clippers, because Kawhi hadn't been there.
Yeah.
They've been without the service of their best player all year, and you believe he's not going to play at all
He's
this
out.
season.
He's
so
gone.
with that being said, look, it just seems to me the NBA is going to be very, very cautious. They're not trying to lose any more money, Skip, because remember, they shut this thing down, and how they ended up having to play, they had to resume 8 games, play the finals, just try to recoup some money, and then they sped it back up, and in about 60 days, they had to start a new season. So the NBA says, you know what, we're going to be very, very cautious. We're going to be overly cautious. And if we think if you test positive, we'll get you out. You keep retesting, and then you test the negative enough, we'll bring you back. But we're going to err on the side of caution. We're not having another shutdown.
No.
That's the last thing the NBA wants, Skip. In the NFL, the same thing. And I think if the NFL, if you're serious, you said all the money that you lost, okay. Well, you got to, when guys do stuff like what happened with AB and with Rodgers, you got to punish them for that.
Yep.
And I ain't talking about no slaps on the wrist.
No. So the best news here is, for me, LeBron James, not positive,
Right.
was never contagious,
Right.
was never a threat to his teammates or his family or his friends. And what did I tell you right out of the box when we first heard the news? I think it was on Wednesday's show. I told you how much it shook me up the night before to hear that even LeBron got COVID.
I know a guy that had he had been vaccinated, he might have could have played in the Thursday game.
Oh, I remember that guy.
Yeah, I know a guy, had he been vaccinated, Skip.
That guy, Amari Cooper, is that who you're talking about?
Him or Rodgers.
Oh, or Aaron Rodgers. That's
who we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
Yeah. By the way, Amari managed 24 total snaps last night because he is still suffering the effects of COVID. He's got a little cough, not contagious, but coughing.
The breathing. Remember Jaylen Brown? Jaylen Brown says he's still. Jason Tatum saying the same thing. I'm trying.